Hey guys, there's a method to all this craziness going on, I promise. But I did want to update you on a couple of the palettes I showed last time. So this is the Schminke one. I haven't laminated it yet, but the tape is here. I'm going to do it really soon. And that's how that came out. I think that's pretty cute. So that's that one. And let's see how things dried. Oh, they dry pretty well. Look, they're all topped off. And that was from just the 2 layers. So that worked out well. I laminated this one. And then that came out pretty well. And it just pops right in there and then closes no problem. And then this one too, I laminated and it just pops right in there and closes no problem. And then this one came out super cute. I found a little ribbon to hold the swatch card to it. And then I had some of their packing paper, so I put it on the back. And then so here's the swatch card and it just slides right in there. So it's really cute. So those are the ones I was showing in my last video. Then I just kept going with it because I also just did a new organization system for all my watercolors because I didn't like before how they were all kind of like laying on top of each other and, potentially scratching each other. So now I have a whole new system that I can maybe share with you guys in the near future. So I had gotten these around Christmas time too, or like a while ago, and I finally added them. So this is Cobalt Violet and a Rich Green Gold from Daniel Smith. This is my Daniel Smith palette, not including the Prima Tech colors, which are all in here. But this is Opera Rose from ShinHan and the PBK 11, the Granulating Black from Turner. I have a really bad swatch card for it. I'm gonna just add them here because I don't feel like redoing the whole palette, because I realized that if I squeezed really well and was mindful, I was able to fit 3 more pans in. But I don't feel like buying new Daniel Smith paint right now until maybe something cool comes out. Although I did see they came out with some new colors and one of them was really nice. It was like a pinky, corally sort of color. But maybe slowly as they come out with new colors, I would add 3 more at some point. So, and then rearrange the palette once I have those colors. But I did make a little swatch card for just these ones. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch them, and then I'm just going to glue them in here like this without having to rearrange the whole thing. So they'll be like a little bit out of order, but it's not really that big of a deal. And then I have another palette I'm working on that I'll show you guys once I swatch these. Yeah, I wish I had more Opera Rose from ShinHan to top it off, because then I could top off the pan and then it would look better, but this is the last of it. I finished that tube. Okay. And the ShinHan paints I have are more like student grade, but it doesn't really matter, especially for something like Opera Rose that I would only use for sketchbook work. I would never use Opera Rose for something I would sell because it's not at all light fast. So it doesn't really matter. And this is just PBK 11, so it doesn't really need to be super high quality either. It's a very plain sort of color slash pigment. I just like having it because it is a granulating black. So if you mix other colors into it, you'll get granulating colors. So it's kind of nice to just have that. Hopefully this new Cobalt Violet, it's supposed to granulate. Oh, and I just added the second layer just today, just this morning. So it's very smushy right now. Hopefully it's not like anything I already have. Let's see, I do have, let's see what I have. Ultramarine Violet, Rose of Ultramarine, and Carbazole Violet. Hopefully this Cobalt Violet is not the same. I don't think it would be. No, see, the Ultramarine Violet, it's not the same thing, so that's good. It's like a very pinky sort of color. It's nice, I like that. And really, I should be making other videos because I have other videos I really want to make. And this, I wanted to add the green gold because that's one of my favorite colors, actually. I've discovered that I just love green gold. It's so nice on its own, or like it makes such nice greens very easily. Okay, so I'll let that dry and then glue that in. And then I think that will be it for, I'll stop messing with the Daniel Smith palette until I buy any more colors. And even at that point, I would probably just add them here until all 3 of them were purchased. So the next thing I was working on that I wanted to do was this little palette, Natsume. I never filled it. So I was thinking, what should I fill it with? It's only 8 colors and they're super tiny. And then you're supposed to just attach it to your sketchbook like that. It's really cute and tiny. So I was thinking maybe I'll use my ShinHan that I have like a whole collection of, and a lot of them are like almost empty, so maybe, but it would be enough for that. But I don't know how do I get that in there, especially if I'm like using a tube bringer. I have a feeling it might make like a huge mess instead. So let me bring you guys a little bit closer. So I really wanted to finish this one off. Figured it would be enough for this little thing. I might be being overly ambitious here, but we'll see. Let's try it, and if we make a mess, we'll just, I guess, wipe it up and try a different yellow, because I do have a bag of other colors. There were like 36 colors in or something like that. I got it years ago. Oh, okay, it's coming out. Hold on a second. Ugh, I feel like I need another hand here so somebody could hold this at an angle. And I have some of the colors figured out that I want to add, but not all of them, so we can figure that out together too. And I guess one of the reasons you guys are always here for these, wait, is this too much? I mean, I think it might be. You guys are always here for my palette filling videos is because I think I mentioned before that I do most of my art like in the evening while I'm watching TV. So it's not even done in this room. I wonder if I could just wait for it to go down because then top it off. But that was good. Now I'm glad because I did want to finish this tube because it was basically empty. This is just a lemon yellow. And like I said, ShinHan's not the best quality, but how do I get this off? And wanted to just, so I'm making a mess of it. It's such a tiny palette. I think maybe there's no way of getting around making a mess with it, basically. Well, we'll let it dry and then we'll top it off. Okay, then the next one I wanted to do is Vermilion Hue, and that one's not going to need too much work because there's enough in there. It's such a cute tiny palette. I'd gotten it on AliExpress a few years ago. Then the next one, this is the part I would need to figure out actually. I have 3 options for a red. I would like it to be this red because then I can finish it. I need it to be a cool red because I have a warm red already. So it has to be cool enough. And then I have a few options for the blues. And then I have a few options for the greens. And then I have 2 browns at the end. So let's try this and see what we want to end up with. Oh, where'd my paintbrush go? Huh, I literally just had my, oh, it was right there. Let's see what this red is. It's definitely a cool red. That's actually a nice kind of middle, maybe it would be good because this Vermilion Hue seems almost orange. So I don't know if that's like a good thing or not. Oh, that's a nice crimson like. That's definitely a cooler red. I don't know if it's that much cooler though, to where it would be nice to finish off that red. Because really, when it's that much, it would just only be enough to top off the ones I already have filled with it, or something, or a space that small. The last one is Red Violet. So this is definitely going to be a very cool red, but it also, oh, it's, no. This one's basically purple. That's a no. Yeah, I think that the red is good enough. So we're going to get rid of the Crimson Lake, save it for something else, because that's almost enough for a half band in that tube. We're going to do it the hard way with the tube ringer. Maybe I'll put the green next to the red, and then the 2 browns can go at the bottom. Oh, it's already coming out. I didn't even do anything yet. Oh, that was good. Do a little bit more, and then we'll let it settle and then top it off. I should have done that with the yellow. I messed up the yellow, I think. You know, once I'm done with the palette, I'll just wash off all this paint that's on the sides. How did it get so watery that it's now like making this mess? Okay, that's fine. Scared it's gonna pop out again. Okay, just a teensy bit more, because they really shrink when they dry. And I don't want to have to do 3 layers. I think 2 layers is sufficient. Okay, we'll save that for later. These tube ringers are the best thing ever. There's no way I would have gotten any paint out of all these pans otherwise. Let's do maybe the bottom because I already know what the bottom will be. Then we have ultramarine that I know I'm doing. So that one's easy. And then the greens and the other blue has to be figured out. So I'm going to swatch them so we can see which greens and blues we want. So what I'm looking for right now is a cool blue. And I have 3 options. I have cobalt blue, cerulean blue, and Prussian blue. Now I know the Prussian blue will be probably the coolest looking. By the coolest looking, I mean color warm. But I would really like to be able to try to use the cerulean if possible because, oh, that's gorgeous. Oh my God, that's really nice. PB15:3. So it's basically a phthalo blue. So this one would be the perfect cool blue. If I could use the cerulean blue, that would be better because then I could finish off this little tube too. You know what? I don't even need to swatch this other one, the cobalt blue. Let me see if I think that's cool enough. Is it cool enough? Let me try the ultramarine and see if it's cool enough if we compare it with the ultramarine. I think the cerulean is nice. I'll go with the cerulean because I really do want to finish these little tubes off. That's a really gorgeous Prussian blue, by the way. Choosing to make a mess with the cerulean and the tube ringer instead. This tube ringer really paid for itself with how much paint I've been able to get out of it. There's a lot of paint left in these little tubes. This one really doesn't want to be coming out. I don't know if you guys can even, am I on a camera? Oh. Oh. See, all of a sudden it just pops out. It's like hiding in there, all this paint. I'll use this palette knife to kind of stick it into there's space in there. I can stick a little bit more. Oops, that's too much. I should have just left well enough alone. This little palette filling is super fussy. It's really cute though. Not sure I would actually use it much because it's more like a painting on location somewhere and I don't go out a ton, but I guess if I did, I would probably take this one because it's so cute and tiny and doesn't weigh much. So we'll leave this for the second layer. And now last step is we're gonna figure out the green that we want because we only get one green, so we want something that's very versatile. I mean, this is a good mixing green. Not something I would really enjoy using on its own, so that's probably no. Sap green. Let's see, sap green. And I don't really want colors that need a whole lot of mixing because this little palette doesn't come with a whole lot of mixing space, to be honest. And none of the greens are very empty, so I don't need to finish off any of those tubes. So they're all kind of on even playing ground in regard to that. It's nice, but it's very kind of opaque. That's a nice green, but definitely this one would be better for mixing, but this one is pretty nice on its own. I don't know which way is better. And then we have Viridian, and I don't know, Viridian a lot of times doesn't dry well, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, this is good for mixing, but that would require a lot of mixing to make it work, and I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to do a whole ton of mixing on this tiny palette. So what do you guys think? I'm between, okay, let's put away the Viridian and the yellow green. We're discarding these two, and it's between these two. I'll go with the sap green. I think it's just the most versatile in terms of being able to make different greens out of it. The olive green is kind of like you don't really need to mix it at all. Oh, okay. I mean, it looks like shit right now. I'm gonna let it dry. Hopefully some of it sinks down and we can top it off, and hopefully we can fix it when we get back to it. I feel like I need to smush in these browns. They're really sticking up. I have a bad feeling that one might not shrink a whole lot. It's magnetizing my palette knife. And then the next videos, I have a little haul coming. I actually bought a couple more things. things. The haul I have coming, I'll show you soon. And then I have two other little things I bought that are very exciting that I'll show with probably next month. And then I also want to do an update on my Oracle deck that I'm working on. And I have an idea that is really fun for quick 1 minute sketchbook warm-ups that also allows you to like use all your beautiful watercolors and gives you a good excuse for that. So I'll be back soon to share that too. I'll be back to show you what this came out to be, because right now it's no good. Hey guys, it's the next day and I wanted to quickly pop in and just give a brief update on the situation. This is how it came out. I did end up topping up some of them. This one, this one, this one, and this one. They all got extra, and then I kind of scraped them down with the palette knife. Then I used some cotton swabs, paper towels to sort of wipe up the edges. It did stain. There's some yellow I see here and whatever, but you know, once you start using it and painting with it, I think you would get a lot of that anyways. So it, you know, that part doesn't really matter. Oh, and here's the updated laminated Schminke little swatch. And then here's the updated one for Daniel Smith. And like I said, this one is kind of messed up, the whole thing, but it doesn't matter because I still have 3 more colors I'm going to include at some point. So this is what it looks like for now. So it's at this point, it's usable. And I did want to swatch this out and show you. These are the colors in the palette. And I think I made pretty good selections. This is a very cool yellow. But it's very nice and bright. This vermilion is very orange leaning, so it could go either way. It could be like a very warm orange, or it could be kind of a light red. This is a nice cool red. I have a versatile green that can go many different directions. I have basically a burnt sienna and a burnt umber, even though ShinHan called it something else. And then I have a warm blue and a cool blue. So actually I was thinking this actually makes for a good example. Like if one of you guys has a very small palette, fits only 8 colors, then this is a good way to go. So this is a good one for 8. I was thinking if you have to get rid of 2 of them, and you have one of those Altoid tins, maybe like a mini one that only fits 6, my recommendation would be I would get rid of this one and I would get rid of the green because those are mixable. And so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You would have so a cool and a warm red, a cool and a warm blue, a yellow, whatever yellow you want. I think warm yellows are nice, but this yellow is better for mixing for a lot of things. So I would go with like a very sort of neutral yellow, or maybe even leaning cooler yellow rather than a very warm yellow. Let me show you, here's what I mean. Like this is not a lemon yellow, but it is kind of a warmer sort of yellow. And then these are really warm yellows. So I would go with that if I only could take one yellow. And then this would be a nice one. It's a nice dark color, so you can mix a lot of like grays and all that sort of stuff with it. So, and it can kind of go lighter, but it can also go darker, so it's more useful than this lighter one. For 8 colors, I would do this palette. Or I could have replaced one of these with like a more grayish kind of color. Like this could have been a darker like gray, but I decided to do 2 browns instead. Just a personal preference. But if I could only do 6 colors, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, can you guys hear that? They're being very noisy today with the grass cutting. So hopefully you don't really hear that. Why are they so noisy? Jeez. I thought we could see how well this works. I'll hold this here so that it doesn't move. Let's see how well it works to mix a few colors. And also let's see how well this microphone thing works, because hopefully it's picking up what I'm saying, but it's not really picking up too much of the side noise. So let's say we wanted to do, let's see. Okay, and see, I'm not using a very small brush. It's actually, you know, pretty good. You get a nice orange pretty quickly. And that's with the cool red. The cool reds I feel are very useful. Let's do green with the cools. Oh, see, that's a nice green. But if that was too much for us, I would just add a little bit of brown. And then we get like a more olive sort of green. We want to kind of darken it up. There, that's a nice olive kind of green. We don't have a purple in there. If we wanted to do a purple, I would go with the purples, like the cool colors look nicer with the purples. And kind of mess around with it. And see, I'm not even using, that's a nice purple. I'm not using this little mixing thing. So you can get away with not a whole lot of mixing space. And I don't know that it's fully dry. I think the paint's not fully dry in there yet. But I did want to show you that this little palette works, and the colors, you can make anything you need at this point. Let's make a nice gray. Let's get a nice, that's a beautiful gray. Or you don't need a gray or a black. You can just make your own gray or black very, very quickly. Let's say we wanted to do a really quick green and not mess around with mixing our own green, since I already did include a green. Usually I wouldn't even bother including a green, but because this is such a tiny palette, I was thinking it would be something you would take on location to paint. So if you take that green and you add a little bit of brown, then you get an olive sort of brown very, very quickly. Let's try the darker brown. Darker brown with the blue. And again, that blue is that's the ultramarine. So if you do the darker brown with the ultramarine, you get a darker sort of gray. This is a light gray, and this is like almost a black. So you can make a black with just yellow, red, and blue. But if you have a darker brown and an ultramarine, it's so much faster. So if you have a light brown and an ultramarine, you make a gray, and you have a dark brown and an ultramarine, you make a black. So that's kind of why I didn't really feel the need to include a gray or a black, because I do have those two browns in there and an ultramarine. Let's make like a really warm orange. This warm red. Ooh, beautiful. That comes out really nice. Look at how rich that is. That's just, see, so you don't really need an orange. You just need a warm red, and then you really don't need a purple. That purple took 2 seconds. Let me try another purple. We'll do still the cool red, but with the warm blue instead of the cool blue this time. And you get a very different purple. It's also gorgeous. Look at that. Let's see what we get with the orangey color and a blue. What kind of purple that makes. I don't know why I'm making all these purples. I don't generally need a lot of purples in the art, but it's fun just to see what color combinations you can get. Huh. Is that even, it's a purplish brown. It's pretty though. It's a pretty purplish brown. That's nice. Let's do a warm red. And oh no, wait, what am I doing? I just did that. I already did that. I was trying to make a green. I don't know why I got confused. Hold on. Okay. Oh, that's almost like a black right there. The warm red with the cool blue, like a Payne's gray black, I would say. It's like got like a bluish tinge, but it's basically black. Oh yeah, I was gonna do a warm blue and a yellow. That's what I was gonna do. A warm blue. And again, I'm not really using the mixing palette, so that's nice. Not that I really need to mix my own green, so that's that one. But then if I wanted to make it a little bit duller, I'm just adding a little bit of the warm orange, or I guess the warm red. And now I get like a brown. I want to take it back to a green. You can just keep messing around with it and mix right on there. It's like a very sort of like a very dull green. Yeah, those are just a bunch of the colors you can get with this tiny little palette, and it clips right onto your page just like that. Doesn't take up any space. I am curious to see how well it would mix on here though. Let's mix something up. What have we not done yet? Let's do this green. You might need to like do something to this surface before it becomes like good for mixing, because it really beads up otherwise. Let's do like a very light green. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. Yeah, so I think with this palette, I would either bring another mixing surface, like a palette just for mixing, or just mix right on the paper and only use this if I need to make like little puddles, like if I need a lot of one color. See, like this kind of went a lot longer, a lot further by having a little bit here, and then it just wipes right up. This is kind of fun. Like if you guys have one of these little palettes, then go ahead and set it up and give it a go. And then you can just kind of, if you want, you can wipe up the sides, but if not, then it doesn't matter. It will get stained sooner or later. Oh, and I did leave this out. I use this to kind of like smooth it down when I'm making the swatches. This is not getting a swatch. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I have no trouble remembering what all these colors are. I do have to go, but here's a final look after we used it, what it looks like. As you can see, I used a little bit of the paint, but there's still plenty left. So it's definitely enough paint for a day out painting. Because remember, those little wells were deep enough that, you know, there's plenty of paint inside there, even though it looks tiny. And it doesn't weigh much because it's wood. And it is super cute. You can get them really cheap nowadays. I mean, I got it cheap a long time ago anyways, because I got it on AliExpress, but now they're cheap everywhere. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back in another video very soon. Please like and subscribe so you can get updates when I post more videos.